Hey guys, it's Miles from Milesfit, and you're watching episode number 6 of the Ask Miles show, where I answer your health, fitness, lifestyle, and motivation questions. It's a fresh new week, and we have fresh new questions to answer. It's been a little while since the last episode, so I felt it was very appropriate to get this started again and get back on track with episode number 6. So let's pull up these questions and get the show started. The first question we have today is, what are the best strategies for eating healthy on the go? Great question. When we're on the go, we're always facing a challenge because we typically don't have the right things prepared in advance. And as the old expression goes, preparing to fail is failing to prepare. So when you don't have your stuff in order in the first place, you're going to encounter problems. So the best strategy is to make sure in advance to have something set up to absolutely ensure that you don't fail. So there are a few ways to approach this. The typical one that a lot of people do is the Sunday ritual. The Sunday ritual is a concept where in advance, one time per week on a Sunday, you prepare all of your food, snacks, and things like that way in advance. This ensures that you're completely and utterly ready to go for the week with all of your stuff in order. Now, it might seem like a daunting task, but really at the end of the day, for a proper Sunday ritual, you're going to be investing about 2 to 3 hours maximum. And while you're doing cooking and food prep and these types of things, really they're mindless tasks. So you can have in the background music playing, you can easily have some type of show playing, Netflix, YouTube, whatever you want, which is phenomenal and great. So you're doing something, the food prep, while having in the background something entertaining. And you'll see, if you do that and you're not used to it, time will literally fly. So back to the concept of the Sunday ritual. This is really a tactic and a tool to prepare anything and everything you need for the week in advance. Now, some people, when they think of cooking in advance, think of food going soggy or going stale, or if you put it in your freezer and you defrost it, it won't taste fresh. That is totally false. You can absolutely cook fresh, freeze foods, defrost as needed, and carry things with you on the go, and it will taste completely fine, right? So typically people that are not used to cooking and defrosting things haven't really experienced that, but you'll see if you do it, it's 100% fine. So that's one of the key strategies, and especially with the snacks, because on the go, even if you can't get a main meal, if you have those key snacks prepared in advance, you can always access them. So when it comes to snacks, you want to definitely have things that you don't have to refrigerate or keep cold. That way you can keep them on you easily, you can keep them in your car, you can keep them at your desk. So things like nuts and seeds, or protein bars, or protein shakes. Any of these items are great. Now, of course, if you have access to a fridge or refrigeration, or you bring a lunchbox or a cooler or something like that, you can bring other things such as hard-boiled eggs, or sliced up cold cuts, or vegetables, fruits, those types of things. So it depends on your setup, but you got to make sure to have the things in order in the first place. If you just start the week and hope everything's going to work out, it's not going to work out that way. You have to be prepared in advance. So if you don't have a cooler, go and get a cooler. If you don't really have a Sunday ritual set up, go on Google, do a little bit of research, see what you can find about food prep in advance. Really, at the end of the day, all you need to do is make a grocery list of some healthy and tasty foods, go and buy that stuff, and then start preparing that stuff one day per week on a Sunday. Now, let's say for whatever reason, you don't have 2 to 3 hours available on a Sunday. That's fine. You can pivot and shift a little bit, and there are 2 other rituals that you can explore. The first one is the morning ritual, and the second one is the evening ritual. So with the morning ritual, you basically do the same kind of food prep in the morning, but you're not preparing the whole food for the week in the morning. In the morning, all you would do is literally plan your food for that day. So you could be making your breakfast. While you're making your breakfast, you're also making your lunch and your supper, which could be the same meal split into two. And while you're doing that, you're preparing a couple snacks. So if you can find in the morning around 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, it really depends on what you're preparing, you can literally have your food prepared for the day and be ready to be on the go with that food, so you're not the victim of eating out and eating highly processed foods that you're picking up on the fly because you have not prepared in advance. Now, if you're pressed for time in the morning, you can shift gears and explore the evening ritual. So the evening ritual is exactly the same thing as the morning ritual, just at the end of the day. So what you would basically do while preparing your supper, you'd be preparing a double dose of that for lunch the next day. And equally, you'd be preparing some breakfast stuff in advance. Now, for breakfast, it really depends on what you want to have. Maybe you're going to be having a smoothie. Maybe you're going to be making some eggs in advance. You can do those famous eggs in those muffin cups. People like those. They're fast and easy, super simple. You can do a quiche. You can do a variety of different things, but really it's not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. You just have to get everything in order in the first place and be prepared in advance to be able to do what you need to do. So Sunday ritual, I'm a huge fan of because you do it in one shot, it's done. You freeze what you're not going to eat right away. You put in the fridge what you're going to use. You have all of your snacks and those items ready to go, and you're golden for the entire week, and eating on the go becomes a simple breeze. If that doesn't work for you, if you cannot find 2 to 3 hours, no worries whatsoever. Opt for the morning ritual or the evening ritual, depending upon your sleep cycle and your schedule. If you're a morning bird, go for the morning ritual. If you prefer, after the end of the day, cooking your supper and creating that as an event to prepare all your food, go with that as well. So those are really the key strategies when it comes to food prep. And I also discussed a few items that you can eat on the go that require refrigeration and others that don't require refrigeration. But really at the end of the day, if you're on the go, there are strategies. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to anything, if you make it a priority, if it actually means something to you, if it matters to you, you will find a way to make it happen and get it done. The problem is most people don't prioritize their health and wellness. It comes 4th, 5th, or 6th notch on the hierarchy of what we assess in our own lives to be important. So those things that don't really matter to us that much get pushed to the side, and that's where we end up eating on the go, on the fly, buying processed foods, eating in restaurants, and spending a ton of money as well. So not only are you not eating well, you're eating excess calories, but you're spending a ton of money for no reason. If you do your own groceries, you're going to eat healthy and you're going to save money. It's a win-win. So to summarize, if you're someone who's very busy, on the go, traveling around, business lunches, business meetings, business dinners, all these types of things, you can absolutely and unequivocally eat healthy on the go. You just need to make it a priority. That's the secret. Whatever you prioritize matters. Okay, so that's our first question. Let's look at the second question. The second question is, how do I start working out if I haven't worked out in a while or I'm new to this whole process? So this is, for so many people, a huge limiting factor. You haven't been active in a while, or perhaps you haven't trained at all. And in your head, you have this belief system that it's this big, arduous struggle to develop some type of fitness regime and routine. So in your head, you have this story that working out is this complex task that takes so much effort and energy, and because in your mind you perceive it as something very complex and daunting, you don't even begin to even attempt to work out. Because in your head, the story you have associated to exercise is that it's hard, it's difficult, it's complex, there's a lot of steps. So the way that someone might visualize exercise in their mind when they haven't done it in a while or they haven't really done it at all is as follows. Well, working out involves going on Google, doing a bunch of research, finding the gym. Then you got to go and visit a variety of gyms. Then you got to meet with different salespeople at these gyms. Then they got to give you tours of the gyms. Then you got to see what they're trying to sell you and what's going on in the locker rooms. And then after that, you got to pick one of these gyms. Then you've picked your gym. You got to get a uniform, your clothes for the gym. You don't own anything, so you got to go out and you got to buy clothes. Then you got to, when it's gym time, you got to prepare all your stuff. You got to get in your car. You got to go there. You got to park. You got to check in. You got to go to the locker room. You got to change. Then you got to go into the weight room, cardio room, figure out what's going on, maybe get some sessions with a trainer, figure out how to use all this stuff, work out, sweat all over the place, go back to the locker room, change out of your gear, grab all your stuff, get in your car, drive back to your place, and you're done. So chances are, if you're someone who's not working out, you probably perceive the situation like that in your mind. That it consists of many, many steps, that it's very complex, and when you feel that emotion associated to that, you're not going to do anything. So the secret to really getting back into exercise, if you haven't worked out in a while or you're just starting, is to make it seem as simple as possible in your mind. To boil it down to brass tacks and keep it super simple. Don't look at all these superfluous items and get overwhelmed, because in a state of overwhelm, you will do nothing. So if you want to start a routine, the first step is to simplify and reduce any overwhelm associated to the process. Another key thing to remember is that you do not get fit in a workout, in a week, in a month. Anybody who is in shape will tell you that it took time. It's a process. So don't be in a rush to get fit. Don't put all this pressure on yourself to go to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week, do the best workout plan, have the best workout clothes, push yourself to the limit. Keep it simple. Simplicity is king. When you keep things simple, life is easy and it's a breeze. We as human beings have the tendency to complicate things because of our distorted beliefs and preconceived notions. But if we can discard those ideas and bring it back down to simplicity, wow, we'll be in a great position for starting our exercise routine. So going back to how to start, number one, don't create a daunting vision in your mind about what exercise is. Keep it simple. Make it easy. The next component is to start slowly because of the fact that you don't get fit in a workout in a week or in a month. It's a process. There's no rush. Slow it down. Be realistic. So with that said, if you're just starting out, try to start working out 2 to 3 times a week. Does it have to be for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours? Absolutely not. If you can only commit twice a week for 30 minutes and that seems realistic and feasible for you, then that's what you should do. Whatever you feel is realistic and reasonable for you is exactly where you should start. If the idea of jogging twice a week for 30 minutes really floats your boat and that works for you, go with that. Because if it feels good to you and it feels realistic and feasible, you'll do it. And if you do it, you'll get the magical word momentum. And when you have momentum, you have energy driving what you're doing. And when you have that energy, you have that power, and that will carry you forward and push you to keep working out week after week, month after month, year after year. If you go too hard in the beginning, if you set yourself up to fail, you're going to crash and burn. And the best analogy I can use is that of the new year. In the new year, people set up these big New Year's resolutions and this big vision for themselves in terms of transforming their physique and their life. And what happens inevitably 9 times out of 10 is people crash and burn. And the reason that happens is because it's such a radical lifestyle shift. If you're not used to doing anything and you're just starting out, so point 0, To go to 100 miles an hour immediately, trying to change your whole life, is way too much all at once. So you want to dial it back, be simple, and start slowly. How much to do in the beginning really depends on you. What's your schedule? When are you available? How much time can you realistically commit? And by how much time can you realistically commit, I really mean if it's a priority for you. If getting in shape and health and fitness was a priority for you, what could you realistically commit? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And when you come up with an answer that you feel good about, that feels right to you, that resonates within you, that's what you go with. That would be your frequency and duration of training. In terms of what to do, go with what you like. If you like cardio, start with cardio. If you like weight training, start with weight training. If you don't know anything about weight training or cardio, you can go on Google, do a little bit of research, or you can hire a trainer for a couple of sessions. It's a worthwhile investment. If there's something in life that you don't know, it really makes a lot of sense to consult with someone who does know. Someone who has that knowledge, who's been down that road, can shrink decades into days. They can impart to you their wisdom, knowledge, and experience to be able to jump forward your results and your progress. So I always advise people, and this goes for anything that you want to do in life, find a coach, find a mentor, find somebody who's done it. If they've done it, they know what's going on. And with those people, you can get the right information to jumpstart your own journey. But like I said, if you don't have access to someone like that for whatever reason, although there are gyms and trainers everywhere, use the great Google University, the amazing search box. You will find anything and everything that you need to know about everything in the world. So when it comes to health and fitness, there are millions of different things you can find. And of course, Google, with their algorithms and systems, kind of usually put on the first couple of pages the best information. So really, there's no excuse for not figuring out what you want to do. And then you just assess, is that something I like? Does it sound good to me? Do I feel good about it? And if that's the case, go and do it. Whatever you do, you must feel good about it. It must resonate with you. Because when it feels good, you're going to do it. And when you do it, you'll have consistency. When you have consistency with anything you do in life, you get results. The secret of getting results with fitness, and really the secret of getting results with anything in life, is consistency. And the way you be consistent is you find a routine, a system, a way of doing things that works with your personality, your lifestyle, and what you like. When you have all those pillars lined up, that's when the magic happens. That's when you genuinely get excited about doing something. So, if you're just starting out or you haven't worked out in a while, the theme really here is start slowly. Don't rush. Take your time. Be patient. And patience is a huge one. People are so impatient these days. Anything worth achieving takes time. Let me repeat that. Anything worth achieving in life takes time. Nothing happens overnight. Sometimes we have these ideas and notions that things happen with the snap of a fingers, but that's not reality. There's a process to everything. There's a natural order and sequence behind whatever you want to achieve. So don't rush, be patient, be realistic, do what you love, take your time, and you will get to where you want to be eventually. Okay? All right, guys, let's look at the third question. All right, how important is it to have goals? Great question. This question was probably asked in the context of fitness, having fitness goals, but I'll put more of a global spotlight on the concept of goals by just addressing them directly so you could apply this to all areas of your life. Goals are huge. So many people walk around aimlessly trying to get somewhere and they don't even know where they're going. A goal adds a solid foundation to your journey. A goal adds a purpose to whatever it is you're doing. Without a goal, you're essentially walking lost and walking blind. The brain, the mind, is like a servo mechanism in a bomb. You give it a goal, you give it something to focus on, and the mind will find the way to navigate towards where you're trying to go. But without a goal, you don't activate within yourself all of your intuition, all of your creativity, and all of your ideas to help you move towards that goal. So having a goal is huge. And really, it takes no time to have a goal. All you need to do is have a piece of paper and a pen and literally write down a couple of goals. Just establish for yourself some type of target for your whole process. So when it comes to health and fitness, some goals you could set would be a weight loss goal. How much weight do you want to lose? If your goal is to lose weight. And when it comes to setting goals, you want to be very, very specific. So let's say with weight loss, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, that's good. That's better than I want to lose some weight. So people have sometimes very general goals. I want to lose some weight. Well, if you're not specific, how can you measure it and how can you get excited about it? Generalities don't work. You must be laser specific. So I want to lose 10 pounds. Next, you want to set some type of deadline. I want to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Now there is a time factor and a time variable associated to that goal. So you have the goal, something that you can taste and touch. Example, lose 10 pounds. You have a time period, 10 weeks. All right. The next thing you want to have when it comes to goals is the why. The why behind the goal. I always say the why drives the how. When you have a strong enough why and strong enough reasons, you will have within you the motivation to push forward wherever you're trying to go and have the energy and the drive to reach those goals. The why is so powerful. So if you combine a specific goal with a specific timeline and a powerful why behind it, that powerful reason to give you purpose for the process, you are setting yourself up for success. That's what it takes to get results. You have to be specific. You have to have things outlined. And most importantly, you have to have reasons and a powerful why behind what it is you're trying to do. So when it comes to the question, how important is it to set goals? It is hugely important to set goals for everything in life, and especially for health and fitness. So we talked about a weight loss goal, but you could have certain health goals, and there's different parameters that you could use to assess your health. So for example, sleep. Maybe, for example, you have difficulty falling asleep. So you could set some sleep goals to fall asleep more quickly, and you can measure that. You can even use certain apps and cool things like that. But most people have a good sense of how long it takes for them to fall asleep. You can assess the quality of your sleep. Do you feel refreshed in the morning? How many times do you wake up in the middle of the night? So sleep is one. Energy goals. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 is no energy and 10 is maximal energy, where are you right now? Maybe you're a 3. You could set a goal to be a 6, to be a 7. So as you can see, when it comes to any aspect of health and fitness, you can set a variety of goals. When it comes to fitness, you could, for example, have a certain objective for the machine that you're using or the weight that you're using. How much do you want to lift? The more goals you can set, the better. Because like I said, it gives you that laser focus and gives you that purpose behind what you're doing. So when it comes to anything in life, I strongly urge and recommend that you take the time to set goals and make sure you have a strong why behind those goals. So not only in health and not only in fitness, but this would go also for finances, for relationships, for spiritual goals, for career goals. Any goal can have some specific data attached to it with a specific timeline as well as a why behind it. Combine all that stuff and you're putting yourself on the path towards success. So just to summarize the Ask Miles show, episode number 6, we looked at 3 more awesome questions today. The first question was best strategies for eating healthy on the go. Quick little summary. When eating on the go, you want to be prepared in advance. If you don't prepare in advance, you will fail. So we talked about the Sunday ritual, where you take a Sunday per week to do all your groceries and prepare all of your food in advance. We talked about the morning ritual, where you take the morning as a time to prepare your breakfast, lunch, and supper for the day and all snacks that you need. Then we also talked about the evening ritual, where you do exactly the morning ritual, but at night. So you take that nighttime period to prepare your supper, lunch, breakfast, snacks, everything the next day. Then when it comes to simple things you can take on the go, opting for foods that you don't have to refrigerate or keep cold, great solution. Nuts, seeds, protein bars, protein shakes. There's a variety of other snacks, certain fruit, vegetables. If you have a cooler or you have a lunchbox or a fridge at work, you can have things like hard-boiled eggs or cold cuts or some leftover protein. You could have literally anything. So the point is, you must prepare in advance. The second question is how to start working out if you haven't done so in a while or you're just really new to this whole process. Start slow. Don't rush. Be realistic. Take your time. Do activities in the beginning that you like and enjoy. Set an initial training frequency and duration that is reasonable and feasible for you given your schedule. Essentially, you want to set yourself up to win from the get-go. Make it easy. Life is so complicated as it is. Simplify things. That will make your life so much more easy. Tremendously. And finally, the third question, how important is it to set goals? Super important. As a matter of fact, if you don't have any goals, stop this video right now and literally write down some goals. Some goals for your health, some goals for your fitness, goals for your life, relationships, career, finances. Do it now if you don't have any goals written down. And by the way, don't do it in your head. When you do things in your head, they circulate around and there's no way to ground them in reality. By taking a pen and a piece of paper or your computer or whatever, those are ways that you can actually take what's in your head and get it into the physical realm in terms of being able to actually see it and look at it. So many people don't set goals because they say, oh, I know what I want to achieve, I know what I want to do, it's in their head, yet they're not going anywhere or doing anything. That's great that it's in your head, but in my experience, if things circulate around in your head, they don't go anywhere. If you want to actually make stuff happen and have real goals and set tasks and objectives for yourself, you got to write it down, type it, whatever, but just don't keep it in your head. There's already enough in your head, okay? So guys, thank you so much for watching episode number 6 of the Ask Miles show. Hope you have an awesome day and stay tuned for episode number 7. Take care, guys.